everybody. Hope Zvara here with a daily dose of hope. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, it is Turkey Day. It is Thanksgiving, and I know for many of you, you are probably out on the road. You are not home, and so I want to thank you so much for what you do, and I just really appreciate you. But it is Turkey Day. And if you're going to have some turkey, let me know. Drop a turkey in the comment section. If you are tuning in from your home, where are you tuning in from? If you're out on the road, let me know where you are. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving. Hope Zvara here from Mother Trucker Yoga. And I'm coming to you live on a Daily Dose of Hope show on Chrome and Steel Radio. I just want to give a big shout out to Chrome and Steel Radio for everything that they do. Dave, Bill, Jerry, Travis, all of you guys are so amazing. Maddie, I just appreciate you so much because today is all about giving thanks, right? And so today I want to talk about a couple different things on the show. We're going to be talking about gratitude, what it means to have gratitude. We're going to talk about why it's good for your health, and we're going to talk about ways that you can show it and share it beyond just the typical Happy Thanksgiving and the typical thank you when someone gives you a gift. Today, I wanted to share a little story with you. So this morning I was up early because I teach an annual Thanksgiving yoga class every year. I've been doing it for, about 15 years. And every time I teach this class, I wake up and I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like, why did I commit myself again to getting up early on a holiday and dragging myself out of bed when I could definitely just be laying in bed? But I'm really glad that I did it. And here's why. When you offer gratitude, when you're thankful for something, it's usually because you've stretched yourself beyond what you're normally used to and what you're normally comfortable with. So that receiving of thanks and that giving of gratitude requires us to stretch ourselves beyond our comfort level, beyond what we're typically used to. And I gotta be honest, the class I did was, we gave donations to the Hartford Food Pantry in my local area, and people were just so grateful to be there in the morning, like just starting their day out on a positive note. And I walked away this morning like I do every Thanksgiving morning teaching a 6 a.m. yoga class. And I was like, why do I not want to do that? Like, why would I not want to play an integral role in someone else's life that they can find thanks and gratitude, and for my own self? Like, what a great way to get my mind set right. So is there something that you do every Thanksgiving? Is there something that you say or that you make sure you have implemented into your day? I want to know about it. Drop it in the comment section. If you're coming to us, let us know where you're coming to us from. Are you in your hometown? Are you out on the road? Are you snowed in somewhere? We're in Wisconsin and we have not yet gotten supposed snowstorm, but possibly it might be coming. So we're safe right now. All right, so why gratitude? Like, why do that? Because in today's world, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get angry. Like, I get frustrated and pissed off and annoyed because people are sometimes people. I mean, that's the best way that I can say it without offending people and getting nasty emails. Sometimes people are just people, and it wears you down after a while. I mean, do you kind of agree that sometimes it's really hard in today's world to be grateful and to smile and offer thanks to sometimes the people that we need to do it to the most because they've wronged us, or they're not able to agree to disagree, or whatever it is, and it kind of gets under our skin, and it's almost like an infection in the body. When we're not able to be thankful and grateful, it's almost like an infection in the body, in that it starts out really small and we don't know it's there. But then after a while, it starts to build up and build up and build up, and we become this bitter person. That happened to me at one point in my life, and I was really drained running my yoga studio and really worn out and just kind of like had it up to here with people complaining about stupid little things where I'm like, honey, you have no idea. And that seed, that infection started to grow and grow and grow. And so instead of being thankful and grateful for my family and the opportunity that I had and all of the things that were coming my way, I started becoming bitter. And it's really important for us to recognize at which point that happens. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been there where you recognize that the person that you're becoming is not the person that you want to be? in yoga, this is really step one. This is why yoga practice is so pivotal, and it was for me in recovery, because it creates awareness. You can't change something that you're not aware exists. You can't. It's impossible. If you're trying to lose weight, the desire to lose weight doesn't happen until you realize that maybe you're a little heavier than you want to be. If you want a new job, you have to get to the place that you recognize that the job that you have, the situation that you're in, is not the one that you want to be in anymore. And you're pushed to the edge, whatever it is. So cultivating that awareness, has that infection gotten in your body? Are you dealing with that infection right now? I like the idea of an infection when it comes to like not being grateful, because you can get rid of it. Like it can go away. You can heal it. And so how do we do that? I think first it's most important to ask ourselves, like, what does gratitude actually mean? This is something I put a lot of thought into over the years. And when we think about what gratitude means, one, I'd love to know what you think it means. Drop it in the comments section. And if you're tuning in, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for coming to us live here this morning. I'm so thankful for you in so many ways, because without you, I would not be here. But gratitude is really a two-part formula. And when we think about gratitude as being a two-part formula, one, it's about being thankful. And thankful is really an action step. We might not always think of it as an action step, but it's an action step in that we can say, oh, thank you so much for coming. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, thank you so much for that nice gift. But can we show thanks? Can you take that next step? It's like, I'm on my phone. I was looking for my phone. It's like sending a mass text message saying happy Thanksgiving versus at least individually texting people or picking up the phone and calling them. Make the action step come to life. And the second thing, gratitude comes from that action step, and it's a feeling that we have inside. So gratitude is not the action part of being grateful. Gratitude is the feeling afterwards. And maybe you've had that, where it's like you've done something and you just did it because you wanted to do it, like you weren't expecting anything in return, and the person was so thankful, and you had this feeling. There was a study done a while ago, and I apologize, I don't remember where the study was done, and if you really need the data, I can like go back and look at my bookmarks on my computer. But there was a study done a while ago in which they studied and they watched people that actually performed acts of gratitude, meaning giving to charity, being kind and doing things that they normally would not do. Volunteering was something that they charted. And they did this over like 3 or 4 years where they watched these people. And the frontal lobe, so the front part of their brain, and this part of the brain is like so deeply wired into gratitude and giving. And what they recognize is that this part of the brain, different neurons were firing when they were giving, when they were doing charitable things, when they were offering more than just the, oh, happy Thanksgiving, or, oh, I'm so thankful for you, where they actually were doing things. This part of the brain, the frontal cortex, that part of the brain, neurons that weren't normally firing in people that don't give gratitude and thanks, were like turning on like wildfire. And so if we think about like, why is this good for our health? It helps your brain, people. Like, you are turning on parts of your brain that would normally otherwise not be turned on. So I can't think of a better reason to give thanks and gratitude than something like that. So what is it that you can do today to, one, receive thanks? Because sometimes we live in a culture, I don't know if you're aware of this or you've noticed this in your life, but it's like someone does something for us, or someone gives us something, and like our instantaneous reply is usually like, oh, that was so unnecessary, or you didn't have to do that, or oh, no, you don't need to help. When someone genuinely was wanting to help, was wanting to show thanks and gratitude, was giving you a gift, a heartfelt gift, and now you are rejecting receiving it. I mean, think about that logic for a second. And maybe you haven't been turned on to this until now. A few years ago, I was turned on to this, and I was so aware that so many times someone would come into the kitchen, can I help? And what do we say? Oh, I'm totally fine, I got it. Someone asks to take your coat. Oh, no, that's not necessary. Someone holds the door open for you. Whatever it is, someone gives you a gift. Someone comes to your house and they bring a bottle of wine. Oh, that's not necessary. Like, why are we rejecting someone's gift and offering of thanks, gratitude, and charity? Like, why are we hardwired to not receive? Because it's an equal relationship. We want to give, but we also need to be receptive. Because then what we're doing is we're like telling that person that gave that their gift is not worthy. And I'm talking about this today, and you might think like, oh, this is like, so hokey pokey or whatever. And this is so critical. Yeah, Taylor, exactly. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. This is something that needs to be as important as taking your multivitamin. This is something that is just as important as exercise, as drinking your water. And I cannot stress this enough. If you feel like someone needs to hear this message this morning, please share out this broadcast, because this is something that's really near and dear to my heart. And like I said, I try to practice what I preach, and I try to give where I can. And most importantly, I try to learn to receive graciously. So remember, gratitude is two parts. It's the action step of giving thanks, but it's the receiving and the deep feeling of gratitude that we feel inside. It's almost like the like buzzer goes off inside of our body when we've done it right. And I don't want you to get caught up in like, oh, Hope said there's a wrong way to give. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when we do something like that and we get that feeling, we get that warm and fuzzy feeling, we get that like, yeah, we did it right. We did it for the right reasons, because we all know people where they're giving for all the wrong reasons. They're giving for attention, they're giving for fame, they're giving for gratitude, they're giving for people saying, oh, you're so generous, or oh, that's so nice of you. I want you to give with the idea and with the possibility that nobody is going to notice, that nobody is going to say anything back in return. One of my favorite things is I love doing things when people don't know I did it. And it's been such a cool practice for me. And just with understanding, having a little bit of a yoga background, one of the things that's really taught me well to be stronger in who I am and to just be more secure in who I am is giving silently, giving anonymously, and watching the people that you give to. And sometimes you don't even see them, but knowing that that made an impact. Sometimes that's the best giving. That's the best giving. And so is there a way that you can do that? Is there a way that you can give to somebody and we tame our ego when we give anonymously? That's what I look at it as. We tame our ego when we give anonymously, because we're truly not looking for anything back in return, because we can't, because they don't know that we did it. So the first thing, again, we're looking at the two parts of gratitude. It's the action step of giving thanks, and it's the receiving of the gratitude, that deep feeling, that changing of the neurons in our brain. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to ignite. When we give, okay, let me see. I think I might even have that tab open. Let me look here. No, I don't. Okay, I thought maybe I had this other study open. I did do a little research before I did this show, you guys. One of the other studies that they did in 2007, I believe, was that they followed people for 4 years who continuously and weekly, not daily, weekly, gave gratitude and thanks, like did things of generous consumption and gave charitably. And they found that those people were quite a bit happier. I don't remember the percentage, I apologize, but they connected that gratitude giving actually makes you happier. So it's like if you are a Debbie Downer and you're in the pits and you feel like life sucks and you're broke and all these things, give. This is why people that are of the poorest level, okay, they're in poverty and they're still giving 10% of their income or whatever they have, why they are so freaking happy. I lived in Nigeria 14 years ago, and I was working and volunteering there, and so many of those people were so poor, like they had nothing, And they were just constantly giving. It's like, how do you find this stuff and you're still giving? You're still sacrificing your time. You're walking across the city to make it to X place to help this person. And it's like, we need to dig down that deep as a culture and really, truly, genuinely support people and offer gratitude and thanks. Okay, why it's good for our health. One, I told you about how it builds up the frontal cortex of our brain. So if you're not giving, you're not showing gratitude, I mean, truth is, your body is not as healthy as it could be. The cool thing is it's free. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a refill. You don't have to find a Walgreens or a CVS. And it requires nothing on your part other than a kind heart. You don't have to give financially. You don't have to give monetary. You don't have to give with gifts. You can give with experiences. There was another study done that when we give with experiences, that frontal cortex grows again. We have a less of a chance of depression when we give with experiences versus if we give with things. Now, the cool thing about that is, think about it. We remember the experiences in our life. We don't always remember the things. We remember the experience around that thing. So what if this holiday season you give an experience? What if during this holiday season you give the opportunity for someone just to be with you or for you to be with somebody? My grandparents are all passed and gone. They have been gone for a long time. And my husband, one of his grandmothers, is still alive, and she fell and broke her hip a few weeks ago now. I think like 2 months ago maybe. And she's in now a nursing home for rehabilitation. And so we are making it a point today, before we go to our Thanksgiving, to stop there. And there's a part of my brain that'd be like, oh, that's so inconvenient, or oh, I have other things to do. But it's the action. I want to be present. I want her to know how thankful I am for her. I don't have grandparents anymore. And when she dies, like, that generation, that time capsule is gone. And I want my kids to be exposed to that. And I want her to know how much I appreciate her. Can you make that action step? Can you give that experience in any way, shape, or form? Maybe you're on the road today. And if you are, thank you so much for your time and for what you do. I really appreciate it. But in that action, you're going to come across somebody today. You're going to interact with someone today. I guarantee it. Unless you pee on the side of the road, you have enough fuel to get you where you need to go tomorrow, and you never pull into a truck stop. You never see a soul, okay? Maybe when you're going to unload, there's not going to be a soul around. I have no idea. But if you make an effort, if you try, you can make an opportunity to impact someone's life today. To show them thanks. Buy their coffee. Buy their breakfast sandwich. Come over and say hi. Offer to get the high part of their windshield if they're washing their windows. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Offer to walk around the parking lot with them so you both can take better care of your health. And maybe, just maybe, you or them both needed a friend in that moment. Someone to talk to. Someone to know that understood and was there. You can make that opportunity happen. So it's good for our health. Absolutely good for our health. So deep connections in the brain. We're developing different parts of our brain. We're helping with depression. We're changing our heart. We're increasing our mood. We're not as tired. We're not as lethargic. We look at life differently, all because we act in gratitude. All right, so how can we show gratitude? Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different things, but some of the things I like to do that are more like interpersonal is I like to journal. And there was a study that was done that daily journaling actually wasn't as effective as weekly journaling when it came to gratitude. What does that mean? That means it's not necessarily necessary for you to every single day write in a gratitude journal 3 things that you're grateful for. But what they did find is over the course of a week, doing it 1 to 2 times and actually getting your pen out, okay? Getting a piece of paper or a notebook. I mean, like, a notebook costs like 49 cents at Walmart, okay? Amazon, it could be waiting for you when you get home. writing that down, okay? There's also studies that handwriting with your own script font, okay, your own handwriting, actually fires different parts of the brain than when you type and when you print. So the fact and the act of actually script writing is really, really important. It taps into a different part of your emotional system, a different part of your brain. Kind of cool. But for another day. So the action of writing it down, like today, I was really grateful that I was able to get up and offer a yoga practice and practice with some people in my community. I'm grateful that I'm here today for you. Part of my brain was like, it's Thanksgiving. You don't need to come on. But you know what? I love this. I love you all. And I love sharing insights and inspiration because there are people in my life that I'm so grateful for because they keep me going. And if I can help one of you keep going, give you some food for thought, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm not going to be the expert in telling you when your truck is broken how to fix it. I'm not, okay? But I can help you in your life. That I am 150% confident that I can help you with. So getting a gratitude journal and writing down the things that you're grateful for, writing down the things that you're thankful for, writing down the things, the people, the places, the opportunities, whatever it is. And I challenge you, I started this a few years ago, to write down the things that are challenging in your life right now and try to find gratitude for them. Here's the mindset shift that I made a few years ago with that. I recognized a connection that before every great opportunity in my life, before things got really good, they usually got really bad. They usually were in conflict. They were challenged. I felt frustrated. I wanted to give up. I was like, I can't do this. And then it was like, poof, and things shifted. So I started to try to train myself, and this is just like a continual over and over again internal dialogue, doing things like a gratitude journal, trying to be externally thankful, being very aware, okay? I used yoga a lot just to clear my head and get focused and clear with myself. But what I started to notice is that bubbly road, bumpy road, and then climax in my life, I had to be more grateful for the bumpy road and not just the climax. Not just the yay, I met my goal, or yay, I got there, but rather everything that came before that. And I think we sometimes skip that step. And that's a really, really important pivotal step because that's part of the journey. That's what makes that so sweet, that nectar so amazing when you reach a goal. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter what your goal is, how tiny or how big. Think about it. That journey that came before. Maybe it was someone that said something to you and it really pissed you off and you were angry at them and you were like, how could you say that to me? You're a jerk, whatever. But looking back in hindsight, it was their words, although maybe not said in the best way, that could have pushed you in the direction to get where you needed to go. Now offer gratitude for that person. Now offer gratitude for that person for being bold enough and brave enough to say that in that moment that inspired a huge change in your life. Think about it. Can we look at giving thanks, not just in the warm and fuzzy stuff, not just in the obvious things. I'm thankful for my kids, my husband, all of you, Mother Trucker, Chrome and Steel. So many people in my life, my parents. But what about all the yucky stuff that we made it through, and as a result, it made us better? If you made it through any challenge in your life, you are better because of it. Hands down. Hands down. Show gratitude towards that. Be thankful for that. Go back and send that person a card and say, dude, although I was mad at you, you were right. And you changed my life. Talk about being humble. You're going to get that feeling inside. That warm, deep sense of satisfaction. Not because you had spited somebody, but because you were grateful towards them. So gratitude journal, looking back at the hard stuff and offering gratitude towards that internally or externally. Another one is sending letters or visiting someone. Again, the action of actually visiting someone changes the chemical constituency, changes the neurons in our brain. It fires different aspects of our brain. It actually decreases depression and anxiety when we act on gratitude versus if we just say gratitude. It's like a hug. Give a hug instead of just say thank you. Now, you might not be a hugger, but can you do something else? And finally, spending your money on experiences versus things. Now, this is twofold. We, in our brains, remember the experience of the action of giving the thing. We don't actually remember the thing. So our brain actually remembers it in a different way. You might just not be aware of that. And two, like when you look back on your deathbed, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm so grateful that that person gave me that beautiful quilt. No, you're going to say, I am so grateful that I got to spend time with that person that gave me that beautiful quilt. I'm so grateful that that person was in my life, or that we had that experience. We went on that cruise. You know, we did that vacation. I stopped home for Christmas. I called up my mom when I didn't want to. All of those things. It's the action that inspires the change in our body chemically, not the gift itself. So if that's not reason enough to start acting in more gratitude and thanks and giving, I don't know what is. Because this isn't turkey giving. This isn't Turkey Day. This is Thanksgiving. Thanks and Giving Day. And furthermore, the Pilgrims and the Indians didn't eat turkey. They ate pigeon and fish. So we're kind of a little off anyways on this holiday. So let's make it more than a holiday. Let's make it an opportunity to give and be grateful and put our differences aside and go over and beyond what we're comfortable with. Okay? And as a result, we will not only inspire other people's lives, but we will get that feeling inside. And that feeling is your marker that's saying, I am changing my frontal cortex. I am changing neurons in my brain. I am decreasing my chances of struggling with depression and anxiety because I am building up something else in my body. This isn't just Hope spurring off her mouth. There are research and studies done on gratitude. And it's free. It's free. And so if you're heavily incorporated into the trucking community, you know, look at Truckers Christmas Group, look at St. Christopher Trucker Relief Fund, look at Truckers Final Mile. Like, how can I give? Mother Trucker Yoga is giving some half zips and hats and some subscription services for Truckers Christmas Group this year. So buy those, support other fellow drivers. They need you. And don't expect anything in return. But when you need it, know that someone else will be there giving back to you. It's called the law of attraction. We're all connected. You know, like attracts like. So I hope that you give in an inspiring way today. One of the most common questions I get is often, Hope, like, what do you do in your life? And the truth is, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes I'm heavily into writing cards. I used to write with my grandma when she was alive every week. I would write her a card letting her know about my day and about my week and my family. And when she passed away, my aunt gave me a huge paper bag, like one you get from the grocery store, full. She had kept every card and every letter I ever wrote her for 10 years. Like, I had no idea. And my aunt had no idea because they were like in her closet in the bottom. She didn't know what they were. And so I was doing that because I wanted to, and I knew how much it affected her and inspired her and meant to her. She used to read them to all the people in her nursing home together, her assisted living home together. And then I get that back. And it had given me back gratitude and thanks that I didn't know that I was going to receive. So kind of cool. But what can you do today? So that's one of the things that I used to do. Like, sorry guys. What else do I do? So I try to give where I can. So teaching local classes right now, I closed my studio. I do a lot of charitable giving classes where it's like part payment and then part like non-perishable food items for the Hartford Food Pantry. Or it's part payment just to like pay the cost of the space. And then the other part goes towards one of the churches in our area that I actually attend is building a facility for equine therapy for vets with PTSD. So sometimes then a portion of that goes to there because I want to, because I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to feel like you're spinning out of control or not feel like you know what to do next. Like I love giving to people in places like that. Like I love giving to St. Christopher Fund. I love giving to Truckers Christmas. I love giving to, our local food pantry because I would never want to be without food for my family. Like, can you imagine? And I do always feel like I have something to give. When I don't feel like I want to, I look inside myself and be like, what's the deal? Like, why am I bitter? Like, why do I feel resentful right now? Like, it's usually something else is going on. So I do a lot of internal reflection with that, and I try to give to the best of my ability without draining myself dry, because I've done that a lot in the past, and that's a no bueno, because then you can't be your best. So that's one of the things that I do. I want to leave you with one final thought. So today on Thanksgiving, it's not just about the food. It's not even just about the fellowship, but it's about the intention that you bring, whether it's to the table, to the truck stop, wherever. Act in kindness. Act in gratitude. Show thanks. Go over and beyond what is comfortable to fire those parts of your brain that aren't otherwise firing. If it's not monetarily that you can give this holiday or today, write a letter to somebody and make amends. Call somebody. Don't even just text them. Call them. And even if it's a 5-second phone call. Hey, I just have a second. I wanted to say Happy Thanksgiving and I love you. Imagine how that might impact somebody else. We can all do a little more. You and I. And so I have a challenge for you. You can accept this challenge. If you're still watching this broadcast, once you do something a little bit more than what you typically do, I want you to come back to this broadcast and I want you to write in the comment section, done. You don't have to tell me what you did. You can if you want, but you don't have to tell me what you did. I just want you to write done. And that accountability hopefully will push you to want to do that. But do it because you want to. Do it because you want to help and inspire someone else, because for me, I always try to remember I wouldn't want to be in that person's shoes. So that's my hope for you today. Most importantly, I hope you have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving, whether you're on the road or home with family. Either way, I so appreciate you, and you definitely play a big role in my life, so thank you so much for tuning in today. If you feel like this message may resonate with someone in your life, please share out the broadcast. That's how we grow our audience here at Chrome and Steel Radio, is people like you sharing out these broadcasts. Thank you again so much for tuning in. And let me know what else you would love to hear on the show, and I'm happy to bring it to you, hopefully live and in stereo. All right, guys, until I see you again, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you again really soon.